A very good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. This morning on ITV right here in our Lagos studio. I am Anu Stevens. Happy last day of the year 2024. Away from trying to have a retrospect of what has happened so far in the year in the political scene, away from the security situation in the country. This morning on ITV here in Lagos, our major focus and attention is looking at the cross overnight. Now, extracting the key issues and, of course, expectations. So, crossover nights is a significant event in many churches, particularly here in Nigeria and other African countries as well. It is a special service on December 31st to mark the transition from the old year to the new year. Or better put, from 2024 to 2025. Now, you would agree with me that there are some interesting significance to this and also some intrigues as well, because whilst Nigeria would be shouting Happy New Year in a couple of hours from now, interestingly, other countries like China, Australia would have been in 2025 already. Anyway, joining me to have a robust conversation regarding crossover night, the importance, the significance, and every other thing you need to know is Reverend Dr. Victor Bashula. He is a senior pastor, Hallmark of Success Ministries, and he joins me live this morning in the studio. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, madam. Thank you.
Right, thank you for coming as well. And compliments of the season, or should I
Same to
say
you.
Happy New Year now?
Happy New Year. Happy New Year is perfect.
Right. So tell me, crossover night, why important? How important is it? And really, what does it mean for Christians and other worshippers as well?
I believe crossover night is an opportunity for Christians to gather in gratitude to God for all that He has seen them through from January of the preceding year to December of the year that they are about to cross over to the new year. Crossover night is an opportunity to thank God in appreciation for all that God has done, for all that I've, for all that you have gone through, for all that could have taken you that didn't take you. It's an opportunity to come to God in worship, in appreciation, in gratitude, and then tell God exactly what you want Him to do for you in. So first of all, gratitude is the most important thing, because no matter how bad it is or no matter think it is, it could have been worse if not for God. No matter how terrible you think 2024 was, it could have been worse if not for God. You may not be where you want to be, but if you look critically at your life, you are not where you used to be. So crossover night is an opportunity to come to God, attitude of what the Lord has done, and then trust Him prayerfully for better things in the new year.
Yeah, I love the part where you said you may not be where you want to be, but you're certainly not where you used to be. Amazing. What makes it special? Crossover night. What makes the night so special? Because I know I heard other services all night. So what makes this night special? You know, to the extent that a lot of persons that haven't even gone for service, so attending any religious gathering, would ensure that once it's a couple of hours to
Or minutes.
a minute.
They come from everywhere. Some even come drunk.
Right.
Yes.
So tell us about it.
Nigerians believe that it is better to cross over in God's presence. It's an unwritten belief that it's better to enter into the new year in God's presence. Some people feel that no matter how bad you have life in the last year, if you can just cross over in God's presence to the new year, God will some way or somehow have mercy on you and give you a better year. So the ninth is special because, it's a year you've not entered before. It's a year you've not seen before. So people believe that no matter how bad the previous year was, if I can just enter into the new year in God's presence, it will always be better. And Nigerians must be celebrated for the hope that we have. Our level of hope is humongous. Our level of hope is intimidating. Our level of hope is massive. Some of the things that happened in Nigeria this year, if it had happened in other countries, I believe those countries would have been extinct by now. But Nigerians have a certain level of hope and believe in the future. And religion, Christianity, Islamic religion, our religion is one of the reasons why we have so much hope and passion to fight and keep believing that next year will be better. So the crossover is significant because people come with the expectation that God will help them to have a better next year.
But what you said is really true. You're not being in church for the entire year, and just that night you're there, it makes it special and makes the next year different. Is it really true?
It
It's just a myth.
is not really, really true, but spiritual things sometimes are mysterious. You know, spiritual things are mysterious. Someone that have not met with God for a long time, just that night that the person comes can mark a whole lot of transition, can mark a whole lot of change. God is mysterious in his ways. As long as the person is there, if it is in God's prerogative of mercy to meet that person that night, I tell you that the person will be met, and the next year can mark a drastic turnaround. So coming at all is even better than not coming at all, is better than not coming at all.
Speaking about not coming at all, there's also another school of thought that don't even believe in crossing over in church. I mean, you could cross over everywhere or anywhere. I know here in Lagos, there's a particular person who always organizes these events. This period, couple of hours to the new year, and of course you see some persons there. So for those other persons who have a different belief system, would you categorize them as being evil or being bad in their own way?
No, they are not evil, they are
Or
not
is it a
being
must
bad.
that you cross over?
It's not compulsory that you cross over in church. You cross over wherever your belief system is, and it will always be to you according to your faith. For as for me, I cannot remember one day, one Sunday, I've not been in church since when I was born. Even there was a particular Sunday I was sick. I think I was about 12 years, no, not up to 12, about 6 or 7 years old, back then in Oshun. I was sick. My mother had to wait behind with me to ensure that I was properly taken care of. Before she came back from, I don't know where she went to, I suddenly got stopped and went to church without informing her. When I got to my dad in church, my siblings didn't, I came to church. My mom didn't know I went to church. When my dad closed, he left. My mom was looking for me at home. My dad didn't. So it was a little pandemonium because they've ingrained us in God and loving his church and loving his house. It became part of me. You never can tell the kind of upbringing those that feel they can cross over anywhere. But I can tell you that a time will come when that void in their soul, when the void in their soul, they will yearn for God. I'm telling you, there will always be a point. No matter how much the person thinks God is not important, a day will come when that void in your soul that can only be filled by God will demand attention and may not be close to when the person is about to transit out of this earth.
But what if it doesn't come? Because I also do know that we have persons who believe in other other powers per se, and some persons don't even believe in God, and you still see them thriving and doing well in whatever space they find themselves.
It depends on your definition of thriving and doing well. I'm talking of when you are about to exit this world. You see, I will not know what is going through your mind on your last day on earth. I cannot know, you cannot know what is going through my mind. And some persons are perfect at pretense till when they leave this earth. It is at the point of earth that's when you will know whether you lived a good life or you life or you had a beautiful life. And all of us will be singular, all of us will singularly be present at that point of exit. I will not be there for you, you will not be there for me. So whatever we use as yardstick of success on earth doesn't matter on the day when we're about to exit the earth. And you know what I mean by that.
Absolutely. I remember during the course of the show, you said something regarding gratitude, which is very important during this period. I mean, being able to pass through January, February, March, up until December, you should be grateful. So right now, I would love us to talk about some of the highlights of the crossover night. What are those things that categorically happen in churches?
In crossover night, there will be opportunity to pray, a lot of prayers of gratitude. Like in our church, to 30 to 40 to 45 minutes or 1 hour of intense prayer, and a lot of it is gratitude. Because the truth is, a lot could get in your life that didn't go wrong, but you did not know. You were not aware. There are some accidents you escaped just because you woke up late. There are some chaos, there are some calamities that you escape just because you were not there at that point in time. But because you were not there and you didn't experience it, you may not know it as a reason to be grateful to God. So there are many things that could have gone wrong that did not go wrong that we must be grateful for. There are many things that could have gone bad that didn't go bad. There are many situations that happen in the year that you not even know you will survive. But some stroke of God's mercies, you survived it. So prayers of thanksgiving is very important. Prayers of mercy, asking God for mercy, whatever shortcomings you have had in the year, 2024, you ask God for mercy. And also prayer, releasing people from your heart, those that you have held in your heart, offended you because of the year. Good that you don't cross over into the new year having those persons in your heart, because when you forgive people, you discover that you are actually releasing yourself of the bitterness, of the negative energy that you have held in your heart against them because they offended you. So prayers of mercy for yourself, prayers of mercy and releasing people, and then a lot of worship to God, a lot of songs of worship, songs of adoration, songs of gratitude, and then we listen to the word of God, preparing us for the new year, and then we give unto God, because giving is an act of worship. Whatever you reverence, you want to give to, giving is an act of worship. And then we take communion for some churches that believe in communion. And then we cross over by 12. We are done. Nigeria, we shout Happy New Year, and we hug ourselves, we embrace ourselves, and we go to our house and prepare for New Year rice.
New Year, right? Oh my God. What about the tradition of fireworks? Because I know some churches they get to do fireworks, and others you have them with the candle and burning of all of that. What about that one?
It's just to whip
Should
up
it
the
even be
excitement.
done in a church?
Well, there's I don't see any scriptural reason why it should be done, and any scriptural reason why it should not be done. Whatever you believe is fine. You see, crossing into the new year, the pastor needs to make the people very excited, very hopeful, very positive, very cataclysmic. The people have to have this passion that the new year will be better. So if fireworks will help to make them excited, please go ahead and do fireworks, but not near the generator. Thank you.
So basically, do what works for you and just be, safety cautious and security cautious at the end of the day. It has become a tradition, really, after you've crossed over into the new year. You see a lot of religious bodies and organizations, hosting fasting and prayer for a couple of days, sometimes 21 days, 100 days. And of course, I'm sure you've actually participated in one or if not every of them. So, Reverend, how important is it? And do you think it's now becoming a norm for a lot of Christians to just, okay, so once we've passed that 1st of January, then the next thing we go on to the fasting. What's the significance of it?
Fasting is a very powerful tool. Apart from the fact that church is asking you to fast, on your own you should create fasting routines for yourself, because fasting helps to slow down your body and quickens your spirit. Fasting is an opportunity for you to deny yourself pleasure and have time to focus on God. Fasting heightens your spiritual sensitivity. There are things you will hear, there are things you will see during the time of fasting. And for me personally, whenever I fast, I always have excess money, because fasting attracts favor. Fasting causes your face to shine. Fasting is like magnetic force field. Attracts good things to you. I don't know how to explain it, but fasting helps you become bold and strong to face things. When you are fasting and you are facing a challenge, you become stronger than the challenge from inside out. So fasting is an opportunity for Christians to prepare spiritually for the year. Fasting is an opportunity for Christians to gather enough spiritual resources for the year. I've heard people say fasting does not change God, fasting does not move God, fasting only moves me. I don't know the God they're talking about, but my own fasting moves God, and it moves him to work very, very fast. In fact, the students of our school, I'm privileged to be a proprietor of a school, an absolutely free school. Our students, everything from the salaries of the teachers to the food that they eat every day, to the books that they use, because everything is free. So their parents are not paying school fees. So they fast and pray for everything. They fast every Tuesday up to KG1. They fast from morning to 12, because fasting cuts across religions. Fasting is a spiritual tool that is not about religion. Fasting makes you heavy. Fasting makes you strong. So the reason why it's being done generally is because if it's not done generally, some people will not do it individually. So it's an opportunity for you to participate in it. And people that do it both religiously and do it because pastor said it, and do it because if I don't do it, church will say I didn't do it, they all have spiritual benefit. But it is better for you to do it knowing fully well that it is for your own advantage. Jesus did not say if you fast, he said when you fast, pray. That means it is not conditional. You have to fast. In fact, the Pharisees fasted twice a week. So if you should have a day in a week that you fast. You should have a day in a week that you fast. And fasting has a lot of medicinal benefits. I read biochemistry in my first degree. Fasting helps your metabolic system. Fasting helps to clear your digestive system. When you fast, your skin shines. When you fast, your mental capacity is improved. When you fast, your retentive memory is heightened. So fasting is not just about spiritual advantage. Fasting, a Christian one that eats too much, the difference is always very clear.
Okay, so still staying on spirituality a little bit. Regarding fasting, I know there are different types of fast, and would get to that part, but there's something you made mention of when you said the children fast for everything. Don't you think it's because of the country we find ourselves in? So let's say I know President Bola Tinubu's administration is doing amazingly well to the best of its abilities, but if we were in a workable system where we have free food, we have free education, we have graduates come out and then the next thing you have a job that you're being paid well for what you deserve, and all of those things in place, would Christians still see the need to fast?
Fasting is an opportunity to build your soul. You see, your soul must be kept in check.
Or let me put it this way. Maybe the fasting and prayer were just to reduce a little bit, don't you think?
Well, some Nigerians, when they move to those climes that you talked about, some of them, their spiritual life reduces. Some of them, their marriages break up. Some of them, they encounter that they were not prepared for because they tend to reduce their spiritual temperature because things are now a little more relaxed. I tell you, the level of darkness and the level of wickedness in those environments that you think things are working is even heavier than the level of darkness and wickedness in this environment. See, your soul is important. Your soul, the health of your soul. He said, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in good health, so prosperous. First, to humble your soul. And when your soul is humble, there are many things you can say no to. When your soul is humble, there are many things that you can resist. The environment that you think, that you say is safer, there are evil and wickedness that goes on there that's mind-boggling and sometimes does not even get, because there's a way they show you only what you want. It's not the worst country on earth. I tell you the truth. I traveled. Nigeria is not the worst country that are worse than Nigeria, but sometimes it doesn't get to their media. So fasting is not because you are in this environment. You will need it more when you cross over to the other environment, because you will need to strengthen your soul. You will need to strengthen your spirit. So fasting is irrespective of geographical location. So don't lose it. In case you are planning to travel in 2025, don't travel and then neglect the spiritual discipline that you built here in Nigeria. If you spiritual discipline, your life will scatter before your eyes and you'll be amazed at how fast it will happen.
Okay. Let's talk about the different type of fast that we have, because I remember having a conversation with someone some time ago, and then the person asked, is it possible to eat and fast? Do we have that kind of fast where you're eating your food and you say you're fasting?
There is what is called the Daniel fast, when you eat unpleasant food, when you eat food that is not pleasant. Like you prepare your food without salt. You can eat food that you don't naturally crave for.
The food you don't like.
Food you don't like, and that is even one of the most stressful kind of fast, because your taste bud is used to certain kind of food. So when you eat food you don't like, you even feel more miserable in quote than when you're not eating at all. And then there's some people fast without water. I don't recommend that. Like I said, I read biochemistry in my first degree. When you're fasting, you should drink water to hydrate your system, irrespective of how long you want to go. Jesus did not fast 40 days without water. He only fasted 40 days without food. If he had fasted without water, when the Bible said he was an hungered, the Bible would have said he tested, because test is stronger than hunger. So Jesus did not fast without water. He only went 40 days and 40 nights without food. If he had gone without water, the devil would not have told him to turn the stone to bread. He would have told him to turn the stone to water. So when you are fasting, you should abstain from food. You should abstain from sex, you should abstain from pleasure, and most importantly, you should abstain from your phone. When I mean abstain from your phone, abstain from the addictive part of social media. Some persons, social media fast will even be more stronger than food fast, because sometimes whatever it is that takes your attention from self-awareness is destructive. So this period, you should control and cut down excessive use of your phone. If you are fasting for 21 days, I will recommend that your social media should turn off by 9 p.m. so that you will have time to really reflect on the prayer that you are having. You should have time to pray. I will advise that you even do more of night fasting than fasting in the day. When you're fasting in the day and you break your fast by 6, or you break your fast by whatever time, you'll be heavy in the night to pray. But when you're fasting in the night, either hunger or whatever it is will wake you up by 12, and you'll be able to pray. Because I believe that fasting in the night and praying in the night is better than fasting and praying in the day. I am going to fast in the night in January, because prayer at night is more powerful.
Okay, prayer at night is more powerful. Amazing, insightful conversation always on This Morning on ITV. But after all of these things said and done, after you've attended the crossover service, the excitement, the jubilation of the year 2025, after you've fasted and you've prayed and all, and you perhaps didn't get to do the important stuff and the main stuff regarding having a reflection and a me time to have strategies, have plans you want to do in this coming year. Don't you think it's just going to make all of the other efforts futile? How important is it for you to re-strategize and replan your life so that it's not like doing the same thing over time and same results?
Wisdom, like they said, is the principal thing. It's not the vice principal, it's the principal. And in all you're getting, apart from fasting and prayer, there must be a balance between wisdom and power. You must have a time to reflect on how your 2024 was. You must have a time to do a critical and insightful analysis of your life in 2024. You must review your life. You must reflect on how your life was. How your life went? Where did you do well? Where didn't you do well? What are the areas you need to change? What do you need to adapt? What part of your life do you need to improve upon? Because the most important person in 2025 is you. Apart from you upgrading yourself, the year 2025-2024 is just a change in date. So if you don't on yourself, if you don't become a better version of yourself, if you identify with the 2024 version of yourself, you will just repeat the 2024 of yourself in 2025. Let me repeat myself. If you enter into 2025 with the 2024 version of yourself, you will just repeat 2024 in 2025. So you need to update, you need to upgrade yourself, you need to improve yourself, you need to become a more productive person, and that involves, like you said, strategic conversations with yourself, having a retreat to look at your life and see areas that you need to improve upon, courses you need to take, knowledge you need to go after, wisdom you need to pursue, improvement on all areas and all aspects of your life. That's one of the major things that will make the fasting and the prayer work, because faith without work is dead.
Faith without work is dead indeed. Now, finally, what would be that message of hope and encouragement to someone? What would you love to share to persons as we tend to move over, because it's just a couple of hours away?
I would like you to kill fear and not be afraid. What appears as if it's going to kill you right now will eventually not kill you. I remember some time ago, I did a real estate business that went bad, and I needed to refund some millions of money. It looked as if all hell broke loose, as if everything was going to go bad, as if that was the end of my life. But I can tell you categorically clear, but it was that time that I became bigger. It was that time I became heavier. It was that time I became stronger, because whatever cannot kill you will make you better. So whatever it is you are going through right now, I don't know right now, but I sense I'm talking to someone, whatever you are going through right now that appears as if it will consume you, cannot kill you. You have to allow that fear go, because if you don't allow that fear to go, the fear will kill you, death will come. So in 20, you must deal with fear. You must enter into the year with faith, believing that God is on your side. To he that is joined to all the living, there is hope. As long as you are still alive, the worst thing you can ever do is to conclude on someone that is still breathing. As long as you're still alive, you are still breathing. There is nothing impossible. There's nothing God cannot do for you. So as you enter 2025, I want you to have hope, have strength, have faith, believing that this year will be better. That 2020, I'm speaking as though we have entered the new year, believing that 2025 will be better for you than 2024, irrespective of whatever predictions you have heard on the media, irrespective of whatever permutations and indices, whatever it is that you think could go wrong, there's a lot of things that will go right for you in 2020. So enter the year with faith, enter the year with hope, enter the year with belief that the year will be a great year for you. Thank you.
Of course, I have been speaking to Reverend Dr. Victor Bashola. He is a senior pastor, hallmark of Success Ministries right here in Lagos. Thank you so much. And
thank you.
Truly appreciate it. And Happy New Year.
Same to you. Happy New Year.
Okay, so we said a lot, kill fear, and remember that the only way to get the future that you want is to create it. My name is Anu Stevens. I'll see you in 2025.